Oh yeah, like that's another thing is quirks could totally be used to like advance science. Yet like the most they do is like, "Oh, hey, we're going to build technology for heroes." Like they have like a whole entire island dedicated to like building support technology for heroes and science. Yet they don't have like anything dedicated to advancing like medical stuff and all that. Because with the like healing quirks and stuff, they should have been able to heal All Might. So my theory around not being able to heal All Might is the fact that somewhere along the way, um, I'm under the impression that my theory is basically whoever is like pulling the strings behind the Japanese government in My Hero Academia is pretty much like, oh hey, All Might is bad for business. We need him gone. Let's not heal him. Because my whole theory is behind like a lot of the problems in My Hero Academia is there's probably some sort of super secret cabal of like immortal people just manipulating things behind the scenes. Because a lot of things in My Hero Academia fall apart if you look at them too closely. But oh well. I mean, like it's just a comic book. There's no need to like tear it apart just because like there's some premises that kind of are off-putting for one reason or another. But Uraka's quirk is something that could definitely have its own uses because Uraka's like anti-gravity quirk is clearly something that messes with physics on a level that we don't understand. Because if you think about it, she's basically nullifying certain forces on an object, which, from a physics standpoint, raises all sorts of problems to an extent. Oh, if All Might didn't have his injury, he'd still be going in his prime. Like, they pretty much indicate that the only reason things are going to get... The things have gone bad is because pretty much My Hero... pretty much because All Might was injured. Like, All Might was, like, the pinnacle of, like, heroes. He was, like, the hero. He's like, oh, like, what's a hero? And people will, like, say, someone like All Might. And so, basically, All Might was, like, the hero to look up to. Like, the guy to be. But the thing is a lot of people seem to forget that the bigger you are, the harder the fall. Because here's the thing is a lot of the problems stem from the fact that, oh hey, everybody else was just so much... Well, no. Okay, so how do I put this into words? So part of the problem is the fact that All Might was just too darn good at his job. All Might was just so good at his job that it made everybody else look bad. Oh, definitely Nagato. Like, the thing about Naruto is, like, anyone who has those cheaty eye powers, really has a leg up against pretty much everyone. Like, the Rinnegan is pretty much like an instant win button. And, like, it's pretty much stated that, All Might, well, in My Hero Academia, pretty much, the issue with All Might was that he was just so good at his job. Oh, I don't think Prime All Might could defeat Pain. And the issue is Prime All Might, he would have to get through the multiple bodies and all the, like, shenanigans with summoning and energy manipulation and gravity manipulation and all sorts of BS. Like, Naruto was only able to stand up to Pain because he had Senjutsu, or Sage techniques, which counter all sorts of chakra shenanigans that the Rinnegan can do. That being... Oh no, the Rinne Sharingan can do all sorts of shenanigans that the regular Rinnegan can't do. And like, the thing is like, anyone with those fancy eyes of doom can do a lot of shenanigans. Like, at the end of the day, the biggest problem with the Rinnegan is the fact that it just takes so much I don't really play Bed Wars. For one, I cannot... I can't really, stream and, do, like, Minecraft multiplayer, combat at the same time. And, I'm kind of more focused on, like, my Minecraft world here than, multiplayer content. Oh yeah, like, the Rinnegan only has, like, its basic abilities. The Rinne Sharingan has a ton of other, like, shenanigans involved. Alright. I mean, part of the problem with Naruto is Naruto went on forever, and the manga kind of ended on a sour note. Like, I like Naruto. And I especially like the original Naruto, not Naruto Shippuden. Like, in the original Naruto, they had, like, all sorts of, like, crazy shenanigans that really made fights interesting. But, in, like, the later portions of, like, Naruto, it was all like, oh, hey, how do I counter this crazy eye power? Or, how do I counter this crazy, dimension warping shenanigans? Or, oh, hey, how do I defeat this, guy? Or how do I stop my zombie enemy from regenerating? Like... Yeah, like, that's the thing, is, like, I get the reason why the creator of the show did that, because a lot of like Naruto's source material comes from mythology. Because Naruto actually comes from a story from a long time ago. And it was adapted into a show about ninjas. Because basically the whole thing with Naruto and all that is a lot of it has like source material within Japanese mythology, but it's not like super clear on like what parts they took from that and what parts they just decided to butcher. Chapter 1, capture a cat. Chapter 200, defeat a god. I mean, that's kind of some stock shonen escalation there. Because the way... there's like a standard shonen formula for things, where they have a starting point. They go through some sort of training arc at some point. And, then they defeat Big Bad. Like, this is like the standard shonen, formula. And you can pretty much, in this part here, like, between starting point and defeat the big bad, just cram a ton of chapters in. But at some point, they get to, like, an end point. And this entire... And, basically, the stock premise of shonen is things usually escalate from, like, chapter 1 onwards. Like, that's just how, the stories are written. And my shovel is gonna break here. Oh well. Because you do get to a point where you realize, like, oh, hey, a lot of shonen uses the same formula for their writing. Like, they change things up, sure, because, copyright laws in Japan are pretty strict. But after a while, you tend to notice, like, oh, hey, there's some certain formulas that people use. Like, a lot of shonen parents, like, a lot of parents in shonen anime, are mysteriously not there. Or one parent is mysteriously missing. Like, for example, we have Ash Ketchum. We've never seen his father before. Ever. And it's been that way for almost 20 years now. Like, Ash Ketchum's father went on, like, a milk run, and he never came back. Or he went to the grocery store for cigarettes and never came back. And that's kind of, like, a lot of, like, how shonen anime treats, their characters. Is they kind of just have, like, certain characters fulfill certain archetypes. Like, Deku, for example, he starts off super weak, but gets super strong over time. Naruto pretty much does the same thing. Like, of the three characters he mentioned there, I'd have to say that Hashirama is my favorite. I'm a big fan of Hashirama. Like, wood style ninjutsu is definitely something I think would be useful. Alright, so let's go with silk touch and efficiency. Alright. But the thing with Hashirama is kind of like an outlier in the like reincarnation cycle of Naruto. And I've pointed this out before. Um, Basically, like, a big issue with like Hashirama is like Hashirama was kind of like the Hokage. He was like the guy. Like, sure, he was a total goofball, but when he needed to be serious, he was serious. And they don't really touch on that often. And I'm like a big fan of Hashirama because Hashirama is kind of like the cool Hokage outside of like 106 centimeters. Oh, yes, I get that reference. Not gonna comment on it, but I do get that reference. Jiraiya is truly one of the greatest individuals of all time. Alright, I am clearing this way too fast. I was clearing this at such a fast rate that it was causing me lag. But, yeah, Naruto does have like a couple moments like that where there's like, some like not outright stated, things like that. But, like, one of the things that really hurt was when they killed off Jiraiya in Naruto. Because when they killed off Jiraiya, I cried. Because Jiraiya was, like, Naruto's, like, only good influence in his life. Aside from, like, the third Hokage. Because don't get me wrong, Tsunade was definitely a positive influence on Naruto, but she really didn't do all that much other than just being like his voice of being like the one person to go up to bat for him when he needed help. And that's kind of, like, sad, really. Because there does come a point where you realize, like, oh, hey, a lot of, like, Naruto's problems come from the fact that he has, like, no support group whatsoever. Like, I will point this out, is that one of the one of the similarities between Naruto and Deku, and I've pointed this out to people before, is that they had like the bare minimum of like supportive influences in their life. Like Naruto had like the third Hokage and like Aruka Umio, or Aruka Sensei, and that was about it. And even then, it was mainly just the third Hokage, and, oh wait, there was also the ramen guy. Yeah, the ramen guy. Like, Naruto had the ramen guy, Aruka Sensei, and the third Hokage. And that was pretty much the bare bones of his support group. He had, like, no one there. And Deku only really had his mom. Like, his dad wasn't in the picture, really, working overseas. Hey, man. You got a point. Yeah, he did have an entire village hate him. But still, at least he was fed. And you'd be surprised how far you can get with just ramen. Because, a big issue is, like, I've lived off of ramen for, like, 2 weeks straight before. It sucks, but it's livable. But you have to find ways to, supplement your meals with, like, important, nutrition. Although the whole village hating Naruto thing, like, I really think there was some shenanigans going on there behind the scenes, with that. Because, frankly, an entire village should not have been used against Naruto. Because, there was certainly some shenanigans going on in the background of Naruto. Because they don't, like, outright state it, but there was definitely some political infighting, after, like, the Nine Tails attack. I guarantee Danzo had some, shenanigans going on in the background. Because, like, one of the things they do make, they don't really touch on is the fact that, oh hey, Danzo was certainly mucking around in the background of, like, a lot of events in Naruto. Because there's no way a guy like Danzo... Oh yeah, I'm fairly certain Naruto's parents would not be happy, with the way he was treated. Because, a lot of, things that happened in Naruto, I'm fairly certain came about because, basically, a big issue with, like, the way Naruto is treated is, realistically, Naruto should have been treated as, like, a prince because he was, like, the son of the fourth Hokage and all that. But there is, like, an issue here with, that. You see, Naruto, had they revealed his parentage, would have been subject to a whole heck of a lot of, like, assassination attempts. Because if you think about it, they pretty much state that, Minato killed a lot of people, or was responsible for a lot of people's deaths before he became the fourth Hokage. And if you think about it, there'd be a heck of a lot of people just swinging, for revenge against Naruto, just for being related to, the fourth Hokage. And I know that's sad, but, like, realistically, there's not really much, you can do, about his heritage. Because here's another thing, is I'm also fairly certain like, any money that, like, the 4th Hokage had, like, stashed away was probably paying for a lot of Naruto's, like, childhood bills and whatnot. Like, I'm fairly certain, like, the 3rd Hokage at least did, like, a lot of shenanigans in the background to, like, make sure, like, oh, hey, I'm gonna make sure the village doesn't completely screw over Naruto, even if I'm, like, getting, like, screwed over by a ton of, like, political backstabbing. Because I guarantee, like, a lot of, like, the early installment weirdness from Naruto comes from, like, the fact that, there was certainly some, like, shenanigans going on in the background, in terms of, like, God, what's it called? Political backstabbing. Because now that I think about it, like, there are a number of factions in, like, the Leaf Village that certainly should have existed. Like, there's, like, the, sector that, like, does all the, like, cooking and, like, craftsmen and, like, building and marketing. And then there's, like, the, whole, like, ninja clans with, like, the Hyuga clan and the Uchiha and all that. Like, there's certainly a lot of stuff like that going on in the background of Naruto. And they really don't cover that until, like, way later in the series. So, another part of, like, Naruto is the fact that a lot of stuff they just don't cover early on, because I don't think, the writer of the series really had an idea of, like, what was gonna be going on, long term. Because, when you write a story, you don't go into it with, like, having the full thing written. And I know this from having studied, writing, that you don't go into a story knowing everything that you're gonna put into it. Like, at some point, you have an idea and you change it. Because you find, like, oh, hey, this works better. Or, oh, hey, this fills in, like, a plot hole from earlier. Because there are certainly stories I have covered in the past where there are definitely things that we can't really talk about. Like, I guarantee, like, a big problem with My Hero Academia is there is, like, a lot of My Hero Academia, Naruto, and shows like Bleach, is that there's a lot of early installment weirdness. Alright, let's grab all this. Alright, let's continue here. But having, like, a tragic anime backstory is kind of a tradition at this point. But I'm getting the stone I need for a lot of my future projects. But I prefer to get, like, actual cobblestone, because cobblestone has more uses. But on the bright side, I now have a lot of dirt for my future projects. So I don't need to go out of my way to get more dirt, anymore. So, yeah, not a lot is happening today, but I'm definitely gonna have to spend some time at the spider farm after this because I spent so much on this shovel that I made today. But that's kind of a negligible thing. So let me check my inventory here. Alright. Alright, okay, alright, so, look, I'm looked through my, substitute teaching chat room, and it looks like, schools on Monday will be, canceled if it snows again, so, that's good. Trying to, get my schedule all sorted out. And I have run out of inventory space. Okay. Alright. So, like, if I stream, like, every day, I should be able to get at least, a couple stacks of carved pumpkins on a regular basis. Which will be good for me. So let's head on up here and start storing things. Because I'm running out of storage space and I don't necessarily want to go make any chests right now. And I'd like to clear out the spot for my house, today. Alright, let's go with that. Okay. So, I'm thinking, I'm looking at house designs as well. I'm not sure, like, what sort of house design I'm gonna end this off with, when I do get to building this. But, certainly, the design will, definitely be something, sort of in line with what I've already built. But, it will be the only structure around here that will use actual glass for, windows. Because, this area we have here is what I call the Founders Settlement. Because at some point, I'll move around and, actually, build in other places. But, this will be, like, the place to, sort of, work and, do things. Because, I don't want to, like, expand out until, well, go out and build, big, massive projects until, the, update this summer. The 1.17 update. Because, we're in 1.16.5. And 1.17 is supposed to come out sometime later this year. So, I figure if I hold off on, like, any sort of, like, major updates and whatnot, and I just stick to this general area, I should be fine, and I don't have to go too far out. Alright, so let's go ahead and clear off this final layer here. So, this final layer here is gonna take quite a bit of time to get through. Like, each layer of this takes, like, a bit more time to get done because it's just slightly bigger. But having efficiency and unbreaking on this shovel is great. Because I can do this, which saves me so much time. Alright, so let's head back to the base here. But I do like having this, like, acacia tree, enclosure. Like, I kind of feel like it adds a unique, taste to my build. So let's go ahead and get this set up here. Alright. And I'm probably going to have to stop soon because it's 11 o'clock here. And I started streaming way later than I intended today. But gotta get things done if I am to stay on my intended schedule. Because I try to schedule my adventures here. But I've opened myself up to a lot of space over here. And I'm gonna try to avoid expanding out into the biome over here and over here for now. And just stick to over here. Okay, so what I'm probably gonna do is I'm probably gonna fill in this watering hole here. Because it's in the way. And I really don't have any reason to leave it be. Okay, so this is the level I need to be at. So let's fill this thing in, and we'll continue clearing this out. And I know filling this in isn't completely necessary, but I'd like to get everything, like, nice and even before I eventually replace this with something. Okay. And I am just, like, mowing this down. Like, having such a high efficiency shovel pretty much is like, oh, hey, zoom, woom, just instant, it's kind of like an instant win button in terms of just, like, clearing things out. Alright, so, we don't need any more dirt, so let's, go ahead and, fill in what we need to fill in. Well, empty our inventory of what we can. So, yeah. Some of the jack-o'-lanterns will still need to grow in. But I also need to, like, get some sort of, like, trash compactor thing. So what I think I'll do is I'll get, like, some sort of, like, automated disposal system for things set up behind here. Because it kind of makes sense to have something, like, to get rid of stuff behind our disposal unit over here. At some point. Alright, where's my coal? There it is. So I have, like, multiple stacks of coal, and it's not getting any smaller, because I haven't really started on, like, my big intensive projects yet. But just leaving things as is probably the best bet for now. Alright. So let's clear this out, and then we'll call it a session. Alright, this is my Silk Touch one. Okay. So we just gotta clear all of this out, and then... Oh, there is a raiding party. Like, this is part of the reason why I'm trying to, like, clear these guys out, because there's always some sort of raiding party that randomly just spawns in, and they try to steal my stuff. So, you gonna leave me be, or are you gonna shoot me? Well then. Oh yeah, he got a head. Yeah, these guys have so much HP. Yeah, okay. We have another ominous banner to add to my collection. Alright, let's go get myself some milk while I'm at it. So we'll add this to my ominous banner collection. Alright, let's go get this milk. So, what do ominous banners even do exactly? Like, I know I'm covered in arrows, but whatever. So, ominous, banner effect. Bad omen. Okay, so I went and looked up the effect, and apparently, if you, happen to, stumble upon one of these, or happen to have the, misfortune of, encountering a, pillager. Basically, if you enter a villager with the bad omen effect, it triggers a raid, which will summon a ton of villagers to try and raid the village. I didn't know that was a thing, but apparently it's a thing. So let's go finish the thing I was trying to do, and we'll be on our way. Because I also know there's like an illager outpost that is nearby, so if I need to, I can always make like an illager farm. Which is not actually a bad idea, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, I'm just gonna go through and, like, tear out chunks of this, like, outline here. Alright, so let's open this up here to keep going here. Like, I certainly have enough resources now to build my house. But at the same time, I need to clear this out so I can get it on, like, a stable plane of existence. Here we go. Okay, let's see. Kind of need to get this show on the road here, because I've almost spent like an hour doing this. Like, I've played this for like a good 2.5 hours today, and I gotta say, quite happy to have gone out of my way to get this done. Because it's always nice to have, like, a good stockpile of resources, and it's nice to have, like, room to be able to work on the things you want to do. Alright. Here we are. Yeah, and I just realized construction over here is gonna be a pain, but oh well. I knew what I was getting in. I knew what I was getting into, so I asked for it. Let's get some lighting down here. So, next time I come over here, I'm not gonna be, like, completely bombarded with, like, an endless number of enemies. Oh well, I think what I'll do next time, though, is I haven't built the watchtower yet, and I need to get around to doing that. Or better yet, I should make, like, a windmill. I have, like, a ton of wool, so I can make, like, one of those stereotypical old Minecraft windmills. So, okay. Pretty much, got everything we needed done. That's, not cooking. Or didn't cook. And I'm good on iron for now. So, overall, we've accomplished quite a bit today, even if it's not, like, terribly noticeable. But, I do need to get around to doing some other things tonight. So, I'm probably just gonna AFK, down at the spider spawner, and, offload my inventory. But, other than that, I don't really have much else planned for now. I do have, like, a list of things to do this month, as far as, like, farms go. Mainly, my to-do list here. Now, let's see here. Any sort of empty space here I can, like, toss things into, would be fine. Alright, there's another chest. Because, I'm not too terribly focused on being organized. But, I do sort of try at least to stay somewhat organized. Even if I'm terrible at it. Alright, so I will just go ahead and toss all my junk in, where it needs to go. Hit up my, pumpkin, depot. And, yeah, that'll be it for today. It's been fun, but, we got things we gotta go do, and, I am of the mind that, things are looking up around here.